Good day, this is Professor Will, CBMD PhD, and today is Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. It is 1:30 and 6 seconds, a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is today's Sun Diary. So let's hop to it here. There's been a lot on my mind lately, and I feel like expressing myself today. Way back when I was 16 years old, I was intellectually overpowering quacks and the board of executives. I have like a third-degree black belt in science and computers, and was over above and beyond doctors' comprehension at 16 years of age. I could easily speak cartwheels around doctors on these topics. Most psychiatrists try to discredit, stigmatize, and ostracize me, putting me in a bad light out of envy. Much more leech off our most vulnerable, utilizing barbaric and coercive trickery, bribery, and brainwashing the public, in order to retaliate against me and shut my motor skills down, so I wasn't able to public speak, function, and to wipe out my memory. A way to prevent me from defending myself at board of hearings, and a reason to make me look and feel sick. And these so-called psychiatrists, who are supposed to help people, slander people's names, drug people, in order to reap large profits. And psychiatrists like to play the big shot while they destroy people's lives, which is very frightening and intimidating. Most of these psychiatrists have fixed, rigid and twisted grandiose beliefs about the profession they are superficially practicing. They are brainwashed and follow the American Billing Bible, called the DSM, Diagnostic Statistical Manual, quack study to falsely diagnose people. The DSM is a fabricated book of diseases psychiatrists and pharmaceutical companies created to reap large profits and make a profitable business by defrauding the public. They are not real diseases, and these fake diseases that are fabricated by quacks who pay doctors to sign fake research papers that they don't even care to read. And these doctors are called ghostwriters, and they provide fraudulent research papers in order to make the pharmaceutical companies and psychiatrists look like real medical doctors, and then falsely medicalizing everything, creating a DSM of fake diseases that are voted in by groups of superficial quack psychiatrists who know nothing about science or medicine. The entire psychiatric community is a scheme and fraud, and they make themselves look credible by calling themselves medical professionals, a superficial label which is really convincing to the public and mainstream media, especially movies, newspapers, and television, which creates a false and superficial influence and fixed belief on our younger viewers, and even has the power to influence adults. I'm in my mid-40s and told all this to the board of executives, nurses, staff, and psychiatrists when I was only 16 years old. I am like 6'4", and it is known in scientific studies that taller humans have bigger brains, higher IQs, and extensive amounts of growth hormone to make all that possible. It is also known in historical scientific studies that taller humans were the dominant ones with the ideas that developed Stone Age tools. I am the ultimate alpha male and always found myself surrounded by a lot of women. Most psychiatrists need to pay big bucks for women, but myself, I never had to pay for a woman in my entire life. And every time I take a walk outside, women approach me and start long conversations that women love and feel comfortable in my presence. I am a very attractive, tall, masculine, and intelligent male, and psychiatrists use my size and height as a reason to discredit and make me look like a violent character in front of the board of executives. I am not a violent or hateful character. That is just a fake and fabricated reason. Psychiatrists utilize their coercive tactics as a reason to retaliate and make me look bad. Because psychiatrists are stereotypes, barbaric, and coercive towards their fraudulent, profitable, and fake profession. Those psychiatrists utilize forceful tactics, such as forcible confinement, chemical lobotomies, lie to your family, and provoke healthy and normal people into anger as a fake and fraudulent reason or disposition. When I was young, I was insightful and aware, but was very hard for me to articulate and public speak because the nurses and psychiatrists forced barbaric practice, such as psychiatric drugs, needles, and if you refused, they seclude you into isolation for days until you cooperated with their abusive and threatening practice. What I'm trying to say is that psychiatrists kept repeatedly wiping out my memory, and it takes a long time to recover from all the psychological harassment and psychological damage. A fake diagnosis they fabricated to easily defraud the public, only to create lucrative profits in order to provide for their multi-million-dollar homes. Furthermore, quacks sit on a lazy man's chair, prescribing drugs, while legit citizens are out working real jobs, making an honest living. Most of these quacks can't even touch their own toes, yet they are trying to force health advice onto others. That is because healthcare is a Ponzi scheme that utilizes extortion in order to manipulate their victims and force the people to take life-threatening drugs. Most will tolerate defamation of character on a regular basis, like it is a God's given truth. Overall, quacks playing God and toying with very dangerous drugs, gambling people's lives for profit. They also play the adversarial game, using words as weapons. Those psychiatrists should be prosecuted for crime against humanity and locked away in jail for the rest of their miserable lives. In my generation, that being Generation X, we need to demonstrate a greater beacon for the younger generation. We are the parents of millennials and Generation Z. I was born in the 1970s and grew up in the 1980s, a time when we had nothing but the floor model television with two very fuzzy channels and a rotary telephone and maybe a record player. And we constantly had to readjust the antennas for the TV because the picture and sound was horrible. And try explaining all that to the younger generation. They never understand. They take everything they have today for granted. Remember, cohesion is not consent. That is your opinion. But this is my dominion. Well, this covers my video diary of the day. As you can see, I had a lot on my mind lately. Well, this video diary was written by me, Professor Will CBMD PhD, scientist researcher, philanthropist and writer. My video diaries mean a lot to me, and was written for educational purposes only. Hope you enjoyed listening. Until next time, have an awesome day.